This is the latest edition of the George Ondek Show. I'm doing my usual thing I do in October and November, a Meet the Candidates show. And I have two lovely people with me tonight. One is a lawyer, one's a film person, and they're both running for office in Yorktown, New York. I'm going to have them both introduce themselves to you and why they're running for council person in the town of Yorktown. First.
Well, George, my name is Sherilyn Goodman, and the reason that I'm running for Yorktown Town Council is because I know and understand our town. I've lived here a long time, and I love our town. And I think that over the course of my 35-year career as a lawyer, a litigator, and now as a member of the executive team of a large law enforcement agency here in Westchester County, the probation department, I've acquired a set of skills and experiences that I think lend themselves well to governing the town, to listening to all the people in the town, to working together to form consensus for the good of the town. And that basically is why I'm doing it.
And why are you running, and who are you?
Hi, George. Thank you for having us today.
It's my honor.
Thank you. My name is Patricia Sullivan Rothberg, but people call me Trish. I've been in town 15 years. We have one son in high school still, just finishing up. My husband and I moved up from the city. Love the town, love to be of service. I've spent a lot of time working with the PTA, with Scouts. I think giving back to the community is something that I was raised with, that I think gives you a sense of really commitment to the community. My background is in film. I distribute documentary films for a living. Some of the films are music films, like the Miles Davis documentary, the Neil Young documentary. Some of them are on issues, women's issues, civil rights issues. We like to think that we give voice to the voiceless with some of our films. And one of the things that I want to do when I come to the town board is be a board that's inclusive of everybody. Yorktown's demographics are changing. There's a more diverse population. I think myself and Sherilyn are very much in touch with the change that's happening, and we want to bring those voices to the town board and be a very inclusive community that's evolving and changing and growing and has different needs and concerns now.
And you're both running with a very fine gentleman who's your town supervisor, Lanny Gilbert. Do you want to comment on that at all?
Well, sure. I'm very happy and really honored to be running with Lanny. I have a lot of respect for him. I actually appeared in front of him when he was a town judge in Yorktown. So
as
I know
a defendant?
As a defense attorney. As a defense attorney.
Oh, an attorney, okay.
Yeah. But right from the start when he took the bench, he was a man of integrity and decency. As I've come to know him off the bench, he is a man of integrity and decency. He is a fiscally prudent person, and I respect that in a leader. And he has really put our town on very, very solid footing to go to the next phase, which is a kind of restoration or revival of our economy. And I think that, Trish and I, working with Lanny, Alice Roker, and Vishnu Patel, I think will really do a lot to make our town a stronger, more fiscally solid town and a more vibrant town. And I do want to just say one thing, that, Trish and I are independent people. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I really respect most about Lanny is that he understands that everyone should have a difference of opinion and that we get the best result when we come together and discuss all of our different viewpoints.
How do you feel about Mr. Lanny?
Well, I think Gilbert? Lanny has been terrific for Yorktown. I think he has set it on the right track financially. I think he is a quiet, strong leader that doesn't have to toot his own horn. But I think he is what differentiates a really important leader from just people who get the position is he believes in something larger than himself. He is there to serve the town and the people and what's right
And
for
all of the people.
All of the people.
Not Republican, not Democrat,
That's right.
but all of the people.
That's right. And I think that that is a really important component in leadership, and I would be delighted to work with him. And he is open to different points of view and listening and hearing and change and potential. It's not just his way or the highway. It's not just we work for a few or a couple people get to make money or a couple, you know. He really is for the benefit of all the residents.
A subject in Yorktown is development. How do you feel about development? Should there be a lot of it? Should there be a lot of commercial development? Should it be controlled? Or how do you feel the future of Yorktown should be with development?
Well, I think Yorktown in the prior administration was really on the wrong path. The path of hodgepodge development where tax abatements were given, which puts more burden on taxpayers and without us seeing really any true long-term benefit from that kind of development. So I'm opposed to that. But I am in favor of the kind of targeted, intelligent development that I think Lanny actually got started when he created the Economic and Business Revitalization Committee.
Yes, I've read about that
And
recently.
that is a testament to the kind of open-minded approach he has to leadership. He brought together a diverse group of people. I don't know what their political affiliations are, but they certainly have expertise in a wide range of subjects. And they all came together and built a plan, a blueprint for our town's future, which Trish can speak to the particulars of it, but I am 100% in favor of the kind of development that is charted out by the Economic and Business Revitalization Committee.
Trish, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think Yorktown has always, it has had an identity crisis, and part of that is because the development that has happened has been hodgepodge and not necessarily, it doesn't have a cohesive brand. I think that we are on the precipice of really thinking about towns differently, not just Yorktown, all towns. There are green initiatives happening. There are the millennials want farm to table. People want experiences. This idea of throwing up malls, it's done. It's over. Nobody wants to be seen in a mall. There's shootings in malls. My son says, I don't want to go to the mall anymore. We have in Yorktown some of the remaining farms still left. That's what differentiates us between Lower County. Lanny wants to preserve that, capitalize on it. We have a theater. We have Hanover Hilltop. We have the railroad depot.
Stage Theater.
Yorktown Stage. We have existing assets. So while I think new development, it can come in, I think we need to really hone the existing assets and work on shining those jewels up, making those investments, and that will bring revenue. And some of that will include theater arts, film, taking our YCC building, I'm probably saying the wrong name.
No, that's the right building.
And making
Veterans, the Jack DeVito Park, right?
a thriving location. And people, grandparents, aunts, uncles, they want destinations to go to and experiences to have. They don't necessarily want to go to a CVS is a fun trip, it's a necessity. But we need to create destinations in town.
I just want to make one comment, being an outside observer of Yorktown. I love the town of Yorktown.
Yeah.
It's my adopted town, although I live in another town. But there are some people calling for extreme commercial overdevelopment and green coming into Yorktown. You want to keep Yorktown green, the community it is. You don't want to change the face of Yorktown and make it Yonkers.
Yorktown is not a city, but Yorktown has a lot of empty stores, and,
Yes,
and
they
we
should
believe
be
that we believe that there's vast potential by utilizing and maximizing the great things we have in our town. Yorktown is a town of great historical importance.
Of course,
You know,
the Battle
and-
of Yorktown.
Yes, and as Trish was saying, all of the farms, the trails, the bike path, these are wonderful things that can really unify a town and give it an identity as a healthy community. And we believe that once we create an identity, a new identity for Yorktown, then businesses are going to come into our town to cater to that need or those needs. And that's going to, of course, bring more people to town. And that's a good thing we see, because we believe that that is going to solidify and diversify our commercial tax base. And over the course of time, it's going to improve property values, and that's important.
And speaking of a tax and tax base, under Lanny, the last 2 years, I believe you came in under the tax cap both years that Governor Cuomo has imposed. And are you for fiscal responsibility if you get elected to the town board? Because you will have an equal vote with the town supervisor. How do you feel about staying under the cap and fiscal responsibility in government?
Well, fiscal responsibility in government is key, just as it is key when you're doing your household budget.
Because you have many senior citizens.
Absolutely. And, you know, speaking of which, it's important that we maintain the level of service and even improve the level of service that we give to our seniors, because we want seniors to stay. That helps round out a community and make it a whole community when you have a robust senior population in town.
How do you feel about seniors? I know you're much younger than many of the seniors.
I think it's important to keep them in the community, and they're tremendous value. We learn a lot from them. We love to have them come in the schools and talk with the kids. I do think we need to be physically responsible.
Do you feel you could do more for seniors if you were elected to office?
Of course.
Of course.
Absolutely.
You know, one of the things I think that would be helpful for seniors, in fact, we were just speaking
because you
with
have
the group.
Jefferson Village in
Yep.
Yorktown. I think there's 1,000 seniors
Yep.
there.
You know, one of the things that I would love to look into is creating a public-private partnership to get seniors greater access to some of the businesses that we have in town. Trish and I were recently at a meeting, and we were speaking with seniors, and you know, they were explaining to us that there are wonderful classes that the town of Yorktown offers, and luncheons, wonderful things. But one of the things that they feel they don't have easy enough access to when they stop driving is shopping. And we, as a town government, want to make sure that the roads are safe. Public safety is a concern. And we want to make sure that seniors also feel like they're a part of the community and they can get around in the community. And so one of the things that, you know, we were thinking about is how to get local businesses in the business with the town of helping seniors getting to and from shopping, where they're going to spend their dollars, but we don't want it to cost taxpayers more dollars to get them into those stores.
A big block of voters are women voters. How do you feel about women's rights and women voting?
Oh, I mean, I think women can put whomever they want in office because we have the majority.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear 53% of the voters are women voters today.
So if we all decided to vote for the same person, we could put whoever we want in office.
A very other big issue now is climate change. Do either one of you want to talk about climate change, or both of you want to make a comment on it?
You want to start?
Well, it's a critical issue. I have solar on my house. I've had it on my house for the last 4 years. We don't use any oil. We use propane and electric. I think that certainly we've had kids are greatly concerned about the climate, and it's something that we need to grapple with.
Do you feel that the town should get active in becoming more energy efficient?
Absolutely.
With, let's say, solar
Absolutely.
or whatever, hydropower rather than oil and gas?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know
And now
the
that
town
the
I
rules-
live in is making major moves on that.
It's happening.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's critical. Number one, I think government has a responsibility to lead the way here. And I think it's important that government do it in a way that's prudent and realistic. There is a candidate who is opposing Lanny who's made rather grandiose comments about his plans to turn Yorktown green. Without any details, of course.
Green dollars,
Green-
not green.
green-
It's green already.
A green
You don't want to
initiative.
change. By the way, I drive out of Yorktown sometimes, and I see the highways getting very clogged already. how much more commercial development you can put into Yorktown without changing the face of it. I mean, I can see replacing stores that are in there to keep the tax base down.
Right. Well, one of the goals is to make our downtown core more walkable. And we do have the capacity to do that. We have sidewalks, we have benches, we have storefronts.
How about a walkway? Did you just open a walkway recently, or?
You mean the trail?
The trail.
Yeah,
It's
that's great.
it's great.
Beautiful.
Trish and I have been on it several times, and it's wonderful.
It's beautiful when you have a trail like that you can walk with nature.
And you know, there are two separate new trails. If you're a real hiker, you can take the 1.8-mile hike into FDR Park, where you can continue your walk. If you're not so much of a hiker, that is the category that I'm in, you can take a 0.4 of a mile, lovely walk amidst nature. And you can also go across the street and get a cup of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts right after your 4/10 of a mile.
That's my favorite place, by the way. I like the one on Lee Boulevard.
I've been there a couple of times.
Do you know where the railroad depot
Yes.
is? Well, that is going to be getting a facelift.
Oh, that's
and that's
good.
going to get $250,000, and it's going to get restored, and it's going to have the capability to have vending there. So you're going to get a lot of traffic from the bike path. And there's that beautiful monument, the Pines Bridge Monument. We think that that park has real potential for the center of town being there and fanning out. And there are sidewalks on both sides.
How do you both feel about veterans and veterans' rights, veterans' benefits?
Well, I was very...
Or should the town do more for veterans?
I think our town does a wonderful job of supporting the veterans. I was fascinated. We were fascinated by your story about what you did when you moved to Peekskill. I think my father was in Korea.
I salute him for his service to his country.
Yes.
I served in Vietnam, as I told you.
Exactly, and I think that when...
Oh, your opponents have said setting up a veterans office possibly in City Hall or Town Hall as a outreach office. Is that a good idea, or would that be something you would embrace?
Well, you know, I think the objective is to make sure that veterans receive the services that they have earned.
Yes.
And that they get them expeditiously. It just so happens that State Senator Pete Harcum has undertaken a very robust program for veterans, and Trish and I have attended their meetings.
Isn't that amazing that you brought him up? I was talking to one of his people at an event today, and I think I'm going to be added as one of his Veterans Advisory Council.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I just want to thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you very much. You've heard I'm a Vietnam vet and a disabled Vietnam vet.
I have, and as you know, because we've spoken about this before, a good chunk of my career was spent working with vets who needed healing, and I worked in a team of people, and we all embraced the veteran who had made a mistake, and we worked together in conjunction, often with Montrose VA.
Speaking of that, do you feel there should be a separate judge or separate court for veterans because of their problems?
You know, I happen to have been on the team of people that developed the Judicial Diversion Felony Drug Court in Westchester. And so I understand the concept of the drug court model, and I'm 100% in favor of it. I happen to believe that veterans have unique issues that bring them into the court system. And so when you can bring veterans together in a drug court model, which is a collaborative, cooperative approach to healing for people who have substance use issues and mental health issues, that people do much, much better. And so I'm 100% in favor of establishing a veterans court in Westchester. And if I may just, maybe this isn't such a secret, but I believe one is about to be unrolled.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I want you both to say what your website is, how you can be contacted, and just talk for 2 or 3 minutes why people should vote for you on November 5th.
Or October 26th,
yes,
27th,
early
28th.
voting.
Early voting, indeed.
Where is early voting going to take place in Yorktown?
Jefferson Village. One location.
Jefferson
Village.
That's a fine village there.
Yes,
So when does that voting start?
Saturday.
Saturday the
26th of October.
26th of October.
And you can go on the Board of Elections website for those people who are interested in getting the details. What the Board of Elections has done is to try and make sure that the maximum number of people have the opportunity to exercise their franchise. The hours are staggered, so it's hard to remember. That's
Right.
one of the problems of having staggered hours.
So for 2 or 3 minutes, each one of you, why should people vote for you, and how can they contact you?
Okay. Well, you can contact me via my website, Goodman for FOR Yorktown.com. You can message me on Facebook, Sherilyn for Yorktown. Why should you vote for me? Well, I think I bring a wealth of knowledge about the town from a variety of different life perspectives. I was a young member of a young married couple. We raised our children here. I'm an empty nester now, and I'm looking forward to what we call the golden years and living them in Yorktown. I have a lot of experience under my belt professionally. My whole legal career has been in public service, working first in a traditional adversarial context, where in a courtroom, where I quickly learned that you can be adversaries and disagree with each other, but not be disagreeable to each other.
So what is that website again? It's
Goodman for Yorktown.com.
And now?
Hi, you can reach me at patriciasullivan.com. That's my website. It's a long name, patriciasullivan.com.
You left the last name out there, but
Did I?
But isn't there Rothman or something?
Oh, patriciasullivanrothberg.com. I also have a Facebook page, Patricia Sullivan Rothberg, and my email is trish, Trish, at bin-15.com. I want to be elected to the board because I think I can bring a new voice, I can bring new ideas. I've been involved deeply in the community with students, with parents, with people in scouting, with PTA. I have a grasp of what people have been asking for, what they want. My background in documentary film, I do grassroots efforts all the time, and I have to cast a wide net and listen to a variety of voices and work together and build community. I think being on the town board is about building community. I think Sherilyn and I can do that. I think we do that as mothers, we do that as professionals, and I think we could really be a strong anchor for Lanny Gilbert as he continues to steer the ship, but becomes a little more visionary, and I think we can help him do that.
And it sounds like both of you want to serve the people, is that correct?
Absolutely.
It's the only reason to do it.
About 5 minutes left in the show. Anything else you want to add? I've run out of questions to ask you.
Well, you know, one of the things I would like to just follow up on about Lanny Gilbert, and I had mentioned public-private partnership, I'd also like to mention intergovernmental partnerships, because those are very important.
Like working with both parties, if necessary.
Like working with both parties, absolutely.
And working with Republicans and independents as well as.
Absolutely, and also working with different levels of government. And one of the things we've recently seen is that our county executive, George Latimer, came to Hilltop Hanover Farm on Hanover Street in Yorktown, and with Lanny Gilbert at his side, announced an $875,000 initial investment in restoring that farm to its potential. And that's the kind of governmental relationship building that Lanny is very good at.
It's great when a town, a county, and a state can all work together.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to see more of that. There's going to be a need for more of that. Municipalities with green initiatives and solar, there's going to be more working together and less isolation, and this is my corner of the block, and this is, we just, as a country, as a town, as a nation, we have to come together.
And once again, we should be a country united, not divided. I don't know if you want to discuss that issue or not, which is a major national issue right now.
Well, there's been the question of decency and how we treat people and how we speak to each other. And one of the things we admire about Lanny is he has a tremendous amount of integrity and decency.
He does, as a judge, for many years and as town supervisor.
As we walk the town, that's important to people.
And I see people walking the town on the Jack DeVito Park where the Lions Club, I know you're very involved in civic activities too, such as the Lions, the Rotary Club, which do an excellent job for Yorktown. I like your summer concerts.
So do we.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah, and I've seen Lanny walking around the track without him even being announced in the past. And it was tremendous that he was elected town supervisor 2 years ago. And with a team like you, I think, I can't make a comment, but I wish you good luck in succeeding in your quest to become an elected official. Are you sure you want to do that now? You'll have to give up a lot of time with your families. I understand people feel they can call you 24 hours a day with problems.
They can, but as a practicing attorney, I had that same obligation and privilege, and I'm looking forward to doing the same as a council member.
I think service is something that's a really good example for my son, and he knows through scouting that giving back and being of service is important. So for our family, it's a valuable investment. And it's
so you had a son who's a scout?
Oh yeah,
that's very good.
He's almost got Eagle. He's working on his Eagle patch.
That's a good one. Reminds me a little bit of Mr. Patel, the way he supports
he's
Eagle Scouts.
Yes.
I understand he had 2 children who graduated from West Point, too. I don't think a lot of people know
that. A son and a daughter.
Wow, that's quite an accomplishment.
He's a very accomplished man.
And always gives out an American flag to anybody he meets. Nice guy.
Yeah.
Basically, this is the show. I'm glad to have had both of you on as a guest on the Get On Deck with George Ondek show.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us on.
It was an honor, so people could get to know you better. Until next time, this has been
Sherilyn Goodman
for Council in Yorktown.
Patricia Sullivan Rothberg for Yorktown Council.
And I wish you very good luck, ladies. Because I'm a show that's fair and balanced, I open my show to anyone who wants to be on it. And you recently contacted me, so I was glad to have you as guests. If the opposing side also would like to come on, they're perfectly welcome. Thank you and good night. Remember, get out and vote starting
November 5th.
November 5th and
October 26th for early voting.
At Jefferson Village.
Yep.
What are the hours, like 9 to 5?
No.
They're staggered.
Yeah, they're different.
There's day and night, and check the website.
I wonder on that vote, when the election polls close, will they have that vote immediately on the early voting? That could be interesting, especially in the national election next year.
They probably have it, but probably are not going to release it to anybody because that might...
No, but I mean release it at that time, because people have already voted. Okay, so remember, get out, vote, and you've heard these lovely ladies tonight, vote early. I can't say vote often. Good night. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you very
for
much.
Taking time out of your busy schedule.
Pleasure.
To come on my humble show.
It's great to learn about you as well, and thank you for telling